We're common loaded for bear. Yeah, that's not gonna keep me out of anything. Man, it is chilly out here this morning. It's like 27 degrees outside. I know that's not cold for some of you guys if you're watching far away, but like Michigan or New York. But I've had the heater on out here for a while and it's 40. So I guess we're gonna have to get to it. You guys know the drill. No rest for the weary. All right. Today we got a punch list. I'm gonna show you guys what we're gonna do. I can 100% tell you that we are going to weld the diagonal behind the seat. There is a hood support, so yesterday I drilled these, put a bolt in there, but actually when I crashed up the front end, the mount that goes to the roll cages broke almost off, so I need to weld that. I need to weld this diagonal behind the tire, and I don't know if I can pull the tires on here at right height, so we're going to attempt to do that. If not, I'm going to have to jack this deal up and move my jack stands. What else do we got here? I want to work on tub fitment. And rear carbon. And I need to build a support for this before I get hogging on it. And get this strip out and try to start maybe fitting some tubs. So I think that's where we're going to start, and we're going to do that by seeing if we can remove the tires first. So stand by. So, show you guys what I've been doing on hyperlapse. Scribed a line, cut. I welded that. It looks horrible, but mostly just because it burned all my beautiful paint. But yeah, I made supports that will rivet to that and then weld down here. Jeez, get into focus here. They're on my sweet welding table, cooling off. And cut some of my battery disconnect bracket off. This is the kind of stuff where I want to try to cut some weight. So my whole battery disconnect bolted onto this. This seems a little excessive. So I cut some of the mount off on the battery disconnect. I'm going to cut some of this off. And I got to go through and cut some of this stuff off. And maybe try to grind massive welds off. Anyway, yeah, I think once I get this thing bolt riveted and then welded, or welded and then riveted, I'm going to sit here and cut this. I'd like to throw a blanket kind of over the rear end, keep some of the dust, metal dust off there, and then I can start fitting my piece of plywood for the tubs. But I got to go run a couple errands, so I'll be back. right, so that was actually a lot more time consuming and I have a bunch of crap in my eyes. I went through 5 cutting blades to do that. Let me show you. Well, there's still a bunch of support. I bet this thing weighs, I mean, what a gallon of milk weighs probably. Let's see how we did here. Well, we got, geez, will this thing focus? Okay, so we got these welded in. See, I gave it a little scuff. It's not awesome, but man, some of that is, I had to grind off some of their old welds. There was huge booger welds. But anyway, got this thing trimmed down. Gonna need hit with this belt sander tool, which I actually haven't talked about at all. But if you watch my $350 generator video, I think Win should sponsor me. Yo, Win. Anyway, I bought this thing off Home Depot or something. It's awesome. This thing is so handy. And there's some, like, you can rigid grind right up here. And these soft pockets kind of allow you to go around tubing. And same up there, like you can just get in there. This thing is like, it's like an oscillating tool for woodworking, but for metal. This is the equivalent here. So, got a couple more, got a little more to cut out down here. There was a, sorry. This was made for the old tub. So this is gonna have to get moved way up here. Sorry, I'm holding this like leaning over upside down and backwards. Maybe you can see over there. Come on, man. My phone not focusing now, that's the thing. So anyway, we're gonna, and then radius up. But let's test fit this tub thing finally, huh? You've been waiting for it. You've been waiting for it. Here it is. Don't mind the heater noise. The heater is rolling because I had to open the door because I caught that paint on fire. You guys have been dying to see this. I've been dying to see this. Everyone's been dying to see this. Oh, oh man. Look at this. Look at it. Now there's some tub right there, buddy. Some tub. Oh yeah. I think that thing's gonna be sweet. Something like that. All the tub. The one thing we probably should do is make sure this doesn't get into the back window. Been there, done that. Now what I'm thinking is I'm gonna lay this out. See how this tube kind of kicks out towards the outside of the body? So we're gonna be into the tub a little bit. We're just gonna notch that. But dude, right? I think we're gonna be in something like that. Bitching. We probably need something like that, just to make sure that dude. So I'm gonna say we easily got ½ an inch into the back window. This is going to be a little tricky, isn't it? Something like that, yeah. We're going to get in here and measure and mark. All right, it's a lot of back and forth. I sped this up. I'm marking center line of the tire, trying to get that piece of plywood centered in there where it looks right, the peak of it, where it's going to land on the frame. I'm marking all that stuff. All right, next up, I am going to start mounting filler strips to mount my carbon. So I've cleaned up the frame rail. I've got some sweet scallop strips from Hammered Fabrication. Here you see, I'm using the little magnets to hold them, and then I'm checking them with the square. So I'm laying the square across the tube, just making sure that that thing is sitting right, and doing the passenger side now. But it's a little bit of cleanup. See, I'm running the square up and down the tube. It worked out really well. The magnet's just holding it, and then I'm stitch welding it. So worked out really well. So I think I'm going to call it. I put in some of my, gosh, what are those things called? The filler strips, scallop strips. There we go. Scallop strips. I got the lightweight ones. Let me show you guys what I did here. So I put them in. I used my 90-degree square one across from both frame rails, and then got a 90, and so this should sit totally flat with the tube. I use these little 90-degree clamps. So my hope is, I was trying to set my piece of plywood in here and line it up with this, but I don't know how straight this is, and I don't know how square the body is. So what I'd like to do, I have marks on that piece of plywood everywhere. My plan is, I got precision gap off this back tube, and I'm hoping that I can drill and cleco some of these holes into that piece of plywood with it up here and get the pitch right. And then I'm going to put filler strip. I got to plan on all my filler strip, but my hope is so that I could duplicate that piece of plywood from side to side. That's my plan here. I've never done any tin work before, but I got this custom notch in this thing. So that'll land on this tube. Then my hope is to put filler strip or scallop strip on each side of it, on this plane, so I can attach the tub and caulk it. And I don't think I'll let much smoke out doing that, but I'm going to put a filler strip all the way up front. I wasn't going to. I was going to drill and rivet into the tube, but then I was like, well, just trying to figure out how to do this the best way. So I want to put scallop strip on this side for the tub, and this will get a plate here with scallop strip here, and then I'll build something to fill into this to separate the trunk. But I want a Zeus panel here so I can get to these shocks. That's my plan, and then I feel like air will just come up here and go back down. So I'm trying to think aerodynamics. I'm trying to think what the wind wouldn't catch, and I was figuring how to seal this off, but I have to get the scallop strip in, and then I can do these other scallop strips in my Zeus panel. So the tub scallop strips, I think, are going to be first. And then once I get all that situated, then I can do this back panel, the Zeus panel up here, the flat panel, and kind of work my way forward that way. That's what I'm thinking. So we'll see how this works out. I'm going to probably close this video down. Double frame rail's done. Front clip thing, like I said, is done. I do need to weld this directional bar in here. And I'm trying to figure out how I want to fill this in, but I hate getting rocks here. And I race at some tracks where that's just the nature of the beast. But man, you get gravel up in this bar and have a panel on this side, it just spills out of your car, and it's terrible. So I don't know. I'd really like to put a panel on the back side. I think that's what should be done on race cars, but we'll just see. That's going to be tricky. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I did also take my piece of plywood and just kind of colored some stuff in. It's kind of hard to see, but that tub's going to go way up into the window. I'm going to have to build some kind of filler strip, but that's what we need to do. So so I was off today. It's Monday, and I was jamming on this, getting these tabs in here for carbon. Right there. Anyway, the wife was feeling ambitious and wanted to work on remodeling the upstairs bathroom. So our house is a giant project. If you guys are like me and you're car guys, you probably got 1,000 unfinished projects. It's awesome. Just live in a nice stress there. Anyway, she was feeling froggy. She wants to try texturing and doing all this stuff up there. I usually do a lot of that, so I was going to help her out. We went vanity shopping and bought a bunch of stuff, a light, a mirror, removed a medicine cabinet, had to patch the wall, so that's what I was doing. And she is now turned loose doing her little project that she wants to do up there. So it's going to be awesome. It's a really small bathroom. And then I can mount a new vanity and stuff when that's done. But I wanted to put a plug in the vanity so I could charge my razor and not have it out on the counter, and put a light mount in there. And anyway, back out here. Let me show you what I got going on. So this is the plane of my tub. So it's going to ride along up here, and then it's going to cut in, and it's just going to miss this bar. Now, I was cocky enough to think I could drill these holes in my plywood template and they would line up. So I cut the bottom of my plywood template. Come to find out, this and this is not on the same plane. So it's off. But this stuff is on the same plane because this fits perfect. That's pretty fucking cool. So I'm going to catch this thing on fire, or try not to. And anyway, you can see that rides a little low. So anyway, I don't have anything left in the tank, but I'm going to go ahead and tack these, weld these. Got to get my air hose in here and make sure I don't catch my plywood on fire. It's going to be marvelous. It's going to be wonderful. Yeah, this thing should be pretty sweet. Well, I'm excited. Alright, so in the last little clip there, I was running around the outside of the body with the plywood. It's actually kind of hard to lay that out, mark, because of the weird shape of the body and how it angles out, and the interior pieces are kind of ribbed. Anyway, I cut all this out, making room for tubs across from my piece of plywood, hoping that everything's going to sit nice and flat and level. I was going to put the carbon tub install video into this, but you're going to have to wait and check out the next video. I should have it posted here shortly. But thanks for following along. Hit that bell notification, like, and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching.